Hey, welcome back to my channel. It is me, Ian, here in Beijing, up in a place called the Solano Mall. But I'm going to head back to my apartment. I wanted to share this idea of moving around Beijing and the cost involved in that. There is different ways that I move around Beijing. Most of the time I'm walking because I do like to walk. So walking costs me zilch, nothing. I do take a bike. When I take a bike, like a mobike, one of the other bikes, because mobikes went bust, it doesn't cost me a lot of money. It costs me 1 RMB, 2 RMB, which is nothing really, which is about 20 pence, as in pence, pounds, sterling pence. You can work that out if you're from America or another country. It's not a lot of money. So that's how much it costs me if I'm taking a bike. If I decide to take a taxi, like a normal taxi, it could maybe cost me to get back from where I am about 20 RMB. So 20 RMB is about maybe about £2.50. I could go for the metro. It means walking up a bit, taking a couple of stops. The metro underground would cost me roughly about 40 pence, if that. So again, very cheap. So walking cheap, taking a bike cheap, although expensive on the old body, especially at my age. The metro, very cheap, taking a taxi cheap. You can get a higher end taxi, so we can go up a little bit on the cost for a taxi. I usually take what's called a DD Premier. DD Premier would cost me from here maybe about 40 RMB, and that is a comfortable car, very fresh smells. They can offer you some water, easy experience just hiring a DD Premier. If I am getting about and I need to go somewhere, then 9 times out of 10, if it's a distance, then I will take a DD Premier. However, one day I got caught short, couldn't get a DD Premier, couldn't get a taxi. I ended up going for, wait for it, a limousine. Just for clarity here, so when I'm saying limousine, I'm actually meaning a chauffeur-driven executive level car. The first time I ordered it, a Mercedes limousine turned up. Back to the story. And although I was a little bit at the idea of a limousine and the cost, it's actually not that expensive, which is the point of this video. Taking the limousine, it arrived quite quick because a lot of people don't use the limousine. It's a bit posh, working class me. I also had an issue with it. So when the limousine turned up, the guy jumped out, opened the door. It was a little bit different for me. Opened the door, I jumped in. It was a Mercedes, beautiful experience. It cost me a little bit more to get from that side of town to where I was going. I would say maybe 3 times as much as a DD. But when you put it in the perspective of what you pay for a taxi maybe in the UK, then hiring a limousine here with all the bells and whistles is actually comparable with a black taxi in the UK, or even maybe a taxi in New York. Bear in mind, this is a capital city. This is Beijing, capital of China. I don't think I would do it that often. Certainly the whole working class thing with me felt really uncomfortable taking a limousine. However, just for now, just so you can see what I mean, I'm actually going to take a limousine from where I am, which is the Solano Mall, to where I need to be, which is home. Not that far, but it is about 2k, 2.5k. So I'll share with you that journey and I'll also the cost. Then you can decide, give some feedback on what it's like to get around here in Beijing. Costs pretty cheap, walking very cheap, but this idea of limousine, definitely something that sometimes, very few times, I may actually consider if I'm caught short, raining or something, and it's the only option. But please, you know, I'm a little bit this idea of taking a limousine. When I got to the apartment the last time, funny enough, the guy got out, opened the door. I was like, no, I'll do it. The whole, working class me. Anyway, let me continue with this. Taking a limousine from Solano Mall to my apartment to share with you. Let's go do this. I forgot when I was editing the video to mention that I could have taken the bus. The bus would have cost me maybe about 1 or 2 RMB, and that would not have been, again, expensive, about 25 pence. The other thing is I could go by electric scooter, but it would mean spending £150 and upwards on an electric scooter that I don't have anywhere to put it, keep it safe. So other modes of transport for life here in Beijing.
“您能听懂我说话吗？”
So that's me. I got back home using the chauffeur-driven car, but unusual for me. Definitely couldn't afford to use it that often, but it wasn't expensive. It was only £13, so it cost me 108 RMB. It wasn't a Mercedes, it was a Toyota, beautiful Toyota car. 6-seater, the door opened electronically. Driver didn't get out. Mercedes car, the driver usually gets out and opens the door for you. Anyway, that was the journey. I went about 2.5 miles from where I was to where I am now. Took about 22 minutes and it cost me £13. I also got some water. Compare that price with what you pay and see what you think. Chauffeur driven car here in Beijing, and this is Beijing.
Yeah.